The deep-sea exploration submarine Nautilus glided silently through the inky blackness of the abyssal zone, its powerful lights barely penetrating the oppressive darkness. Professor Nereus Wavecrest stood at the helm, his weathered face illuminated by the soft glow of instrument panels. His eyes, sharp despite his years, scanned the sensors for any sign of the anomaly that had brought them to this remote corner of the Pacific. Behind him, Lieutenant Wren manned the sonar station, while Dr. Isla monitored the life support systems. The tension aboard the Nautilus was palpable as they approached the coordinates where satellite imagery had detected an unusual heat signature on the ocean floor. Nereus had dedicated his entire career to the search for Atlantis, and this expedition represented his last chance at vindication. His colleagues in the scientific community had long since dismissed his theories as the ramblings of an obsessed man, but Nereus knew in his bones that he was right. The ancient civilization wasn't just a myth. It was out there, waiting to be discovered. As the submarine descended further into the abyss, the water pressure outside the hull increased to crushing levels. The Nautilus creaked and groaned under the strain, a constant reminder of the danger they faced. Isla's voice cut through the silence. "Professor, we're approaching the maximum safe depth for the Nautilus. Any deeper, and we risk a catastrophic implosion." Nereus nodded grimly, acknowledging the risk, but unwilling to turn back now. They were so close, he could feel it. Suddenly, Wren's excited voice echoed through the command center. "Contact! Large structure detected at 2 o'clock, approximately 500 meters ahead." Nereus rushed to the sonar display, his heart pounding. The screen showed a massive, geometrically perfect shape rising from the ocean floor, a pyramid, but unlike any he had ever seen. Its smooth surface seemed to absorb the Nautilus's probing sonar waves, giving it an otherworldly appearance. As they maneuvered closer to the structure, the submarine's external lights revealed glimpses of an entire cityscape sprawling across the seafloor. Spires and domes, bridges and plazas, all built on a scale that defied human engineering. The architecture was both familiar and alien, with sweeping curves and impossible angles that seemed to bend the very fabric of space. Nereus felt a mixture of elation and trepidation wash over him. They had found Atlantis, but something about it felt wrong, as if they were trespassing in a place not meant for human eyes. As the Nautilus cautiously approached the sunken metropolis, the crew's initial excitement gave way to a creeping sense of unease. The city's architecture defied conventional understanding, with structures that seemed to shift and change when viewed from different angles. Nereus directed Wren to initiate a detailed scan of the area, while Isla began analyzing the composition of the surrounding water. The professor's mind raced with possibilities. Could this truly be the legendary Atlantis? Or had they stumbled upon something far more extraordinary? Suddenly, a faint pulse of energy rippled through the water, causing the submarine's instruments to flicker momentarily. Isla's voice rang out, tinged with alarm. "Professor, I'm detecting a sudden spike in electromagnetic radiation. It's unlike anything I've ever seen before." Nereus frowned, his excitement tempered by caution. He ordered the Nautilus to maintain a safe distance while they investigated further. As they circled the outskirts of the city, they noticed strange, glowing symbols etched into the surfaces of the buildings. Symbols that bore no resemblance to any known human language. The tension aboard the submarine ratcheted up as Wren reported movement within the city. "Something's activating down there," he said, his voice barely above a whisper. On the external cameras, they watched in awe as long-dormant mechanisms began to whir to life. Massive gears turned, panels slid open, and a network of luminescent lines spread across the cityscape like awakening veins. The ocean floor trembled, sending vibrations through the Nautilus's hull. Nereus realized with a mixture of terror and exhilaration that they hadn't just discovered Atlantis, they had triggered its reawakening. As the city continued to stir, the team debated their next move. Isla argued for caution, suggesting they retreat to a safe distance and call for backup. Wren, his eyes gleaming with excitement, pushed to explore further. Nereus found himself torn between scientific curiosity and the weight of responsibility for his crew's safety. Their decision was made for them when a powerful tractor beam suddenly engulfed the Nautilus, pulling them inexorably towards the heart of the alien metropolis. Alarms blared throughout the submarine as they were drawn into a massive airlock-like structure. With a final gut-wrenching lurch, the Nautilus came to rest in a cavernous docking bay. As the water drained away, leaving them in an air-filled chamber, the true scale of their discovery became apparent. The walls were lined with rows of similar vessels, each far more advanced than their own submarine, covered in a fine layer of sediment, clear evidence of long abandonment. Nereus, Wren, and Isla exchanged looks of disbelief. They had prepared to uncover the secrets of an ancient human civilization. Instead, they found themselves trapped in what was unmistakably an alien outpost, forgotten for millennia beneath the waves of Earth's oceans. With trepidation, Nereus led his team out of the Nautilus and onto the alien docking bay floor. The air was breathable, but had a strange metallic tang that made their throats tingle. As they ventured deeper into the facility, they encountered increasingly bizarre and advanced technology. Holographic displays flickered to life at their approach, showing star charts of unfamiliar constellations. Wren, ever the adventurer, couldn't contain his excitement as he examined what appeared to be a map of the galaxy, with Earth marked as a small, insignificant dot on the outer rim. Isla's scientific curiosity overcame her initial fear as she began analyzing the alien tech. "Professor," she called out, her voice filled with wonder, "these systems appear to be powered by a form of zero-point energy. The implications are staggering." Nereus nodded, his mind reeling from the magnitude of their discovery. This wasn't just an ancient civilization. It was a glimpse into a level of scientific advancement that humanity had only dreamed of. As they pressed on, the facility seemed to respond to their presence, lights brightening and doors opening as if welcoming long-lost children home. The team's exploration led them to a vast circular chamber that appeared to be the heart of the complex. In the center stood a towering pillar of swirling energy, pulsing with colors that defied description. Surrounding it were control consoles covered in the same cryptic symbols they had seen outside. Nereus approached one of the panels, his hand hovering over its surface. The moment his fingers made contact, the entire room hummed to life. Holographic projections filled the air, showing images of Earth's history, from the dawn of humanity to modern times. Suddenly, a booming voice echoed through their minds, communicating in a language they somehow understood. "Greetings, children of Earth," it said, its tone both ancient and impossibly alien. "You have awakened the sentinel outpost of the galactic concordance." The voice explained that Earth had been seeded with life billions of years ago as part of a grand experiment. Atlantis, this alien outpost, had been tasked with observing humanity's progress, waiting for the day when they would be ready to join the greater galactic community. As the voice continued its revelation, alarms suddenly blared throughout the facility. The energy pillar began to pulse erratically, and the holographic displays showed scenes of conflict and destruction across the galaxy. "Warning!" The voice intoned, now tinged with urgency. "The concordance has fallen. Ancient enemies approach. The outpost's defenses are activating." Nereus, Wren, and Isla watched in horror as massive weapons systems emerged from hidden compartments, aimed at the sky above the ocean. They realized with growing dread that their innocent exploration had not only uncovered humanity's true origins, but had also inadvertently placed Earth at the center of an intergalactic conflict that had been raging for eons. The alien facility shuddered as its ancient defenses whirred to life, the ocean above churning with the movement of massive structures rising from the depths. Nereus, Wren, and Isla stood frozen in shock, overwhelmed by the magnitude of what they had set in motion. The voice of the outpost's AI continued to bombard them with information. The Galactic Concordance, a peaceful federation of advanced civilizations, had fallen to a ruthless force known as the Void Collective. Earth, long hidden and protected, was now exposed and vulnerable. Isla was the first to snap out of her stupor. "We need to shut this down," she shouted over the blaring alarms, her hands flying over the alien controls. "If these weapons fire, it'll draw attention to Earth." Ren nodded in agreement, but Nereus hesitated. The wealth of knowledge contained in this facility could catapult humanity forward by millennia. Could they really give that up? As if sensing his thoughts, the AI spoke again, its tone somber. "The choice is yours, children of Earth. Activate the defenses and join the war, or initiate the Omega Protocol to hide your world once more." Time seemed to slow as Nereus weighed their options. Humanity had dreamed of first contact for centuries, but not like this. Not as unwitting pawns in an intergalactic war they knew nothing about. With a heavy heart, he made his decision. "Initiate the Omega Protocol," he commanded, his voice barely audible over the cacophony of alarms. The AI acknowledged, and suddenly the energy pillar began to collapse in on itself, drawing in light and matter like a miniature black hole. "We need to get out of here now," Ren yelled, already sprinting back towards the docking bay. The three scientists raced through the crumbling alien complex, dodging falling debris and leaping over chasms that opened in the floor. They reached the Nautilus just as the docking bay began to flood, the massive doors groaning open to the ocean beyond. As they scrambled aboard and sealed the hatches, Isla's voice shook with a mix of awe and terror. "Professor, look at the readings. The entire outpost is folding in on itself. It's creating some kind of dimensional pocket." The Nautilus's engines roared to life, propelling them out of the disintegrating alien structure and into the open ocean. Behind them, the vast city that had stood for millions of years imploded in a dazzling display of light and energy. As they ascended towards the surface, the waters calmed, leaving no trace of the incredible discovery they had made. The three sat in stunned silence, the weight of their experience settling over them like a heavy blanket. They had found Atlantis, unlocked the secret of humanity's origins, and glimpsed a universe far vaster and more dangerous than they had ever imagined. And now they were the only ones who would ever know the truth. The Nautilus breached the surface of the Pacific Ocean with a tremendous splash, bobbing gently in the aftermath of their incredible journey. Inside the command center, Nereus, Ren, and Isla sat in stunned silence, their minds still reeling from the events that had unfolded in the depths below. The first rays of dawn were breaking over the horizon, painting the sky in hues of pink and gold, a stark contrast to the alien blues and greens they had witnessed in the underwater city. Nereus was the first to speak, his voice hoarse with emotion. "We can never speak of this. Not to anyone." Ren opened his mouth to protest, but then closed it, nodding slowly in understanding. The implications of their discovery were too vast, too dangerous to share with the world. Isla busied herself with the controls, setting a course for their rendezvous point with the research vessel that had deployed them. "All external data recordings have been wiped," she reported, her tone a mixture of regret and relief. "As far as the world is concerned, our mission was a failure. We found nothing but empty ocean floor." As the submarine made its way back to the rendezvous point, the three scientists grappled with the weight of their secret. They had uncovered the truth about humanity's origins, glimpsed technology beyond their wildest dreams, and narrowly averted drawing Earth into an intergalactic conflict. Yet they were returning with empty hands and fabricated stories of equipment malfunctions and adverse conditions. Nereus felt a deep ache in his chest, knowing that his lifelong quest had ended in a truth he could never share. Days later, as they stood on the deck of the research vessel, watching the Nautilus being hoisted aboard, Ren approached Nereus with a determined look in his eyes. "Professor," he said quietly, "I've been thinking. Maybe we can't tell the world what we found, but we can use what we learned. Guide humanity in the right direction. Prepare them for what's out there." Nereus considered this, stroking his beard thoughtfully. It was a dangerous path, fraught with ethical dilemmas, but perhaps it was their responsibility now. As the sun set on their expedition, Nereus, Ren, and Isla made a pact. They would dedicate their lives to advancing human knowledge and technology, always with one eye on the stars. They knew that somewhere out there ancient forces were moving, and Earth might one day be called to play its part in a cosmic drama beyond imagination. For now, they were the silent guardians of humanity's greatest secret, carrying the weight of the Atlantis Paradox, a lost alien outpost that had changed everything and nothing at all. As they gazed out at the vast ocean, each lost in thought, they knew their greatest adventure was just beginning.